Good Tuesday morning to you. Thanks for joining us on KARE 11 News Now. I'm Lauren Lemanchek. This afternoon, the father of 16-year-old Manny Collins will be back in court charged with his murder. Jordan Collins Sr. was arrested last month. Prosecutors say Manny was living with him when his mother reported him missing in May. Days later, they say police searched Collins Sr.'s apartment where they found bloodstains as well as a mattress and pieces of carpet missing. Manny's body was found in a landfill nearly 2 months later. It's unclear what today's hearing is about. Right now, a family is looking for answers 3 months after their 19-year-old was attacked at a Robbinsdale park. Amari Alawunle was shot in the head in Sanborn Park the night of May 4th. She passed away from those injuries a week later. Amari's mother and aunt spoke with our Ian Russell, sharing their grief and their continued push for answers.
It breaks my heart, it really does, because I couldn't save her. I couldn't do anything to help her when she was in the hospital, laying on this bed, dying. This is my baby. I would do anything in the world. I would give her my last breath.
To trade places.
I would have traded places.
Robbinsdale police say they're still investigating what happened. Anyone with information is encouraged to call the department. So far, no one's in custody. Happening right now, there's a battle brewing over Hennepin County Medical Center in downtown Minneapolis. The hospital's on pace to lose up to $50 million this year. And now the Hennepin Healthcare Board and county commissioners are up in arms over who will have control. Audrey Russo's here with the big meeting today to discuss the crisis.
HCMC is the county's safety net hospital, meaning that they'll treat anybody who walks in regardless of their health insurance status. And the county says that's not going to change mission-wise, even in light of these financial difficulties. But at least one county commissioner argues that financial control of the hospital should be taken away from the Hennepin Healthcare Board. Commissioner Jeffrey Lundy says the county had to use $15 million of its own capital fund to buy medical equipment after the Hennepin Healthcare Board failed to purchase it last year. HCMC is facing a $36 million deficit that could grow to $50 million by year's end. But the Hennepin Healthcare Board claims it's not caused by mismanagement, and they argue losing their financial control won't address the need for more funding by the county.
We are the oversight. We are the community. And removing this board effectively removes the voices that represent the majority of patients served by HCMC.
We need to have direct access to everything. There needs to be direct people who have accountability to the board, I think, and so we can move rapidly through that.
Lundy says in the event of a takeover, those on Hennepin Healthcare's board would still have a seat at the table, and that closing HCMC is not an option. Now, you're invited to weigh in at the public comment period. It's part of the county board's regular meeting that starts at 1:30 this afternoon. And a vote on the hospital's governance is actually set for next week. 5 out of 7 county commissioners would need to vote yes in order for the takeover to go through. Back to you.
This morning, we're waiting to hear from Health Partners workers in Stillwater after they overwhelmingly voted to authorize an open-ended unfair labor practice strike. Right now, there is not a strike scheduled. The SEIU union would have to give a 10-day notice before one starts. It comes after the group's 4-day strike last month. The union says the two sides have met at the bargaining table 8 times since May, but remain apart on issues like pay and longevity bonuses. Contract negotiations are set to resume tomorrow. We reached out to Health Partners, who tell us they hope to avoid a strike. They say that they have a fair contract proposal on the table, and they look forward to resuming negotiations. This morning, Minneapolis police are entering day 3 in their search for a missing 12-year-old girl. Take a good look at your screen right now. This is Victoria Jackson. Police say she's been missing since Saturday night. Victoria was last seen walking near Minnehaha Falls, wearing a tan Rugrat shirt, blue jeans, and red and black shoes. Her family says she uses an insulin pump that would have run out by now, so they're concerned about her health.
Victoria might be acting erratically or not in able body at this point. She might be in a diabetic crisis.
So far, dozens of people have joined the search for Victoria. If you know where she is, you're asked to call 911. New developments this morning on the man accused of shooting and killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. We now know Luigi Mangione will get a laptop to review evidence as he waits trial. Mangione's team requested the laptop in March, saying he needs it to review 7 terabytes of evidence, which would take up to 15,000 pages in print. They say there's so much data they don't have enough time in visiting hours to properly prepare for trial. The laptop will not be connected to the internet. Right now, the city of St. Paul is warning residents of fraudulent invoices following last week's cyber attack. They say online payments are still unavailable and no late fees will be assessed until access is restored. The city says you should not click any link or email attachment if you're unsure who sent it. More information on spotting and preventing invoice fraud is available on the city's website. Meanwhile, North St. Paul is also investigating a cyber attack on its police department. In an emergency city council meeting, the city manager called it a, quote, business email compromise incident and said it may have affected personal data. The city approved a contract with a law firm and its cyber investigation arm to figure out the magnitude of the breach. Right now, they don't know if they're connected. This morning, day 2 of a high-stakes game of Texas Hold'em. Democratic lawmakers leading a special session in the Lone Star State in an effort to block a vote on a Republican congressional redistricting plan being pushed by President Trump ahead of the next year's midterm elections. Those lawmakers are now facing arrest. Jay Gray's in Washington with the holdout and how governors in other blue states are joining the fight.
It's Texas Hold'em or maybe a game of chicken. To this point, though, neither side has flinched with control of Congress, and many say the path of President Trump's final 2 years in office hanging on what happens next.
Members, a quorum is not present.
Texas Democrats continuing their holdout. Dozens of state lawmakers leaving the House chamber and the state, effectively blocking a vote on a Republican congressional redistricting plan that could create up to 5 new GOP seats and help the party maintain control of the U.S. House in the 2026 midterm elections.
Their attempts to disenfranchise Texans is the tool they're using is a racist, gerrymandered map. And Governor Abbott is doing this in submission to Donald Trump.
Texas Republicans pushing back.
This map was politically based, and that's totally legal, totally allowed, and totally fair.
Governor Greg Abbott threatening to expel the more than 50 absent lawmakers from office while ordering state troopers to find and arrest them.
I will immediately sign the warrants for the civil arrest of the members who have said they will not be here.
Texas may be the spark point, but clearly this showdown is just the start of a national battle for political power.
This is a war. We are at war. And that's why the gloves are off, and I say, bring it on.
Governors in a handful of blue states, including New York, Illinois, and California, already working on potential redistricting plans to offset GOP efforts. Governor Gavin Newsom, a potential presidential candidate, posting on social media, "Buckle up, Donald Trump. California is about to get a whole lot bluer thanks to you." Blue or red, the map to the midterm elections unclear and contentious more than a year before voters head to the polls. Now, many of the absent lawmakers say they've packed enough clothes to be gone for 3 weeks. Republicans insist they aren't stopping this vote, just delaying it. By law, a special session in Texas can only last 30 days, which means the current session must end by August 19th. Jay Gray, NBC News, Washington.
In the last 24 hours, Minnesota lawmakers paid tribute to the late Speaker Emerita Melissa Hortman on the national stage. Senate Majority Leader Erin Murphy and House Speaker Lisa Demuth appeared on stage together in Boston at a summit for the National Conference of State Legislatures. Murphy and Demuth spoke about Hortman's legacy and called on legislators across the country to tone down political rhetoric. And in one of his first public appearances since being shot, State Senator John Hoffman also recorded a video for the summit.
What happened in Minnesota on June 14th was awful and tragic and will impact me and my family forever. But as a Minnesotan and as an American, I do know this. We can't let the evil of the night win.
Along with Speaker Demuth and Leader Murphy, about 50 other legislators and staffers from Minnesota traveled to the summit in Boston. Quite a moment there to see Senator Hoffman speaking. Stick with us. More news and weather's coming up after the break.